Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series YouTube channels. We continue our exclusive interviews here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, and I'm delighted to say, joined by Noa-Lynn van Leuven. Noa-Lynn, welcome to Portsmouth.
Thank you.
In the studio with us, first of all, want to get to know you and get to know the person behind you. First of all, what got you into darts in the first place?
Ooh, what got me into darts? My parents. They both played darts, and I think by the age of 8, 9, I went with them to the pub, played darts, or at least I watched them play darts, and I really liked the game already. And I started practicing myself, still needed like a chair to get my darts out of the board. Yeah, I think it's safe to say they got me into darts.
When did you realise that you were better than most at it and wanted to go to the next level with the sport?
Well, back in the youth, I wasn't really that good. Might be partly because I wasn't that happy as a kid. But I think like 2 or 3 years ago, I realized I could really get into darts.
Just touching on what you said there about not being happy as a kid, I'm guessing that takes us to you transitioning.
Yeah.
When did you first realise that you weren't happy within yourself as a youth stroke teenager?
Oh, I think it was sort of like age 14. That's made me realize I wasn't happy as a kid. But it wasn't that, it was still a bit new.
Yeah.
So people weren't that, inclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was weird and I couldn't do anything with it. But by the age 17, I thought, okay, it's either going this way or don't live at all. So I had to make a choice.
Between the ages of 14 and 17 then,
Yeah.
You've just touched on there, it was one or the other or you wouldn't be here. What's that like? Because obviously I've got no idea and not many people would.
No.
So what's that like, being different and not being able to speak about it?
Oh, it's one big show. You just feel weird and you don't want to talk about those things because you don't want to get bullied and you don't want people to think bad of you and you don't want to be an easy target. So I didn't talk about it.
How do you go about talking about it to your parents and your family? Is that one of the hardest things you've ever had to do?
It was, yeah. I think the first person I told was a good friend at darts, and she went with me to tournaments since I was like 14, and I really had a good vibe with her. And she was the first one I told, and then I think it was the day after I told my mom and my parents and my sister, or my father and my sister, and they all really accepted me from the beginning, so that was great.
How nervous were you for that conversation?
Pretty. Well, I can still remember the moment with my mom. When I told her, I think she went upstairs to sleep and I sent her a text, could you please come down? I really want to talk with you. And then I just showed her a letter that I wrote. And she was like, okay, I'm going to call the doctors tomorrow. We're going to make this work. So that was really, really nice, sweet and kind of her.
From the moment you've told your parents and you've made that decision, what's your life then like from there at the start of the transition?
It's been rough. Like the gender healthcare in Netherlands, it's not that good. When I applied or when I went to the doctors, they were like, okay, we'll put you in the system and maybe in a year time we'll give you a call. By now it's already 3.5 years that you have to wait. So that's really, I was lucky. I was one of the very lucky ones. Yeah, it's been rough because it's still hard to accept myself. It's still, and I think it's also because of society.
You said it's hard to accept yourself. Is that other people? Or I'm guessing you're now much more comfortable in yourself from where you were at the age of 14 to where you are now. But is it a general society thing that it's hard to accept you for what you are now?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Society made me think bad of myself, and I guess I can be here as well, and I can be happy as well. And why do I have to ruin that by let people judge me?
From there to now, Are you happy within yourself, and do you love yourself now?
I do, yeah. I'm much happier.
I'm guessing normal life and sport are two very different things. Is it now accepted in the Netherlands and within your family and your friends, you are who you are? Is that now a normal life for you?
To me it is, but in the Netherlands it's getting worse. As any LGBTQ person, I think if we go back like 5 years, it was great, and now Netherlands is dropping down on it.
Only the Netherlands, or is it a worldwide problem?
It's general, yeah. If you look at the UK with the Prime Minister, it's not getting any better.
When you travel over to the UK to play darts, do you still feel that same scrutiny and people judging you?
No, because people don't really know me. I don't have to worry, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within the sporting world and the sporting landscape, again, we know you found it really tough. When you first started playing, were you accepted?
Yeah, I think I was. It was only a few people who really knew, and they didn't really make a big thing out of it. Some people were like, okay, I don't agree with the rules, but this is it. The rules are there to follow, and if the rules say I can't play, I can't play. And the rules say I can play, so I'll play.
We'll come on to the rules more in a minute, because that's going to build a big part of this. But your darting career, I'm going to take you back a year ago when you were the first transgender female to play at the World Match Play at the Winter Gardens. What was that feeling like once you qualified?
Oh, it was insane. I thought I wasn't going to qualify again, I wasn't going to qualify because the last weekend in Germany, first 3 tournaments I dropped out in first or second round, no prize money, and then in the fourth one I made a final. I did what I had to do. That was really good, but it also brought me a lot of pressure. Like, people were expecting things from me. I had to play bow, so I knew I was going there and play one of the hardest games. Didn't have any stage experience. I do now, so... Yeah.
What was that moment like, stood at the top of the walk-on at the Winter Gardens? Because we've seen so many darting memories made there, and for you to play there, what was that moment like?
Iconic. It was really iconic. I had an iconic walk-on song. The venue it's just great. I didn't know what to expect, so I just walked to the stage and I was like, I just want to play darts. And yeah.
Fast forward 6 months, your career is flourishing. You've won a Challenge Tour, won 2 Women's Series events. Confidence-wise on the board, you must be sky high right now in what you're achieving.
Yeah, I can beat anyone. Yeah, it feels great. I won a Challenge Tour on my debut. No one was expecting me to, and that gave me such a confidence boost. I feel like I'm on top of the world right now.
With the Challenge Tour win, do you feel that's what's now... where we are now, it's manipulated, the people are going on, because you won that Challenge Tour, that created the problems that you're now having, and that highlighted it more?
No, I think it's mainly because of just success. If you win something, you hear people, and the people have been like, okay, this isn't right, and whether it's I'm playing a mixed tournament, I'm playing a pro tour, a lady series, it's never right. I can't do anything right. And that's fine, because I just want to play darts and I'm just going to keep playing darts. But it's getting really annoying.
I remember speaking to Fallon a few months ago, and she said one of the women's series, it was a toxic atmosphere there. Is it as bad as what Fallon said and the rumours that we've heard and people whispers? What's it like being in that environment at the moment?
Well, I've seen people tell stories. It wasn't that bad. To me, it felt really bad. When I lost a game and half the crowd started clapping, you feel this small. We all know why they were clapping. Well, I just got to keep going, I guess.
In that moment, obviously, you've got a close-knit friends. Did they rally around you at that moment on the women's series when people were clapping when you lost?
I walked outside of the venue, and some people, they came to me.
Do you feel the authorities did enough in that moment? to help you.
They did what they could, yeah.
From there, obviously, it's got worse. We've seen on different circuits, whether it's the PDC, Home Nations, WDF. What's that been like, the way you've been treated? And do you feel that you've been targeted specifically in this?
Well, some people say it's not personal, but it's getting to a level where I think it is getting personal. Because there are a few transgender players, but I guess I'm the only one who's really doing a great job at playing darts. And I think, yeah, that's why they target me. It is getting personal.
You say that, and we've seen Facebook posts from other transgender females that have played, and they've said exactly the same as that they've never been refused or people have never pulled out to play them. Their exact words were, because I'm not very good. Where you are, obviously, at a very good ability, do you feel that it's purely down to that you are better and they are taking it out for that reason?
I don't know what it really is, but it does feel like that, yeah.
What was it like in Denmark when that happened, when the first time someone has forfeited a game against you because you being a transgender athlete in the field?
Well, I don't really feel comfortable at WDF tournaments anymore, and that's been a build up over the last year. I didn't even really want to go to Denmark, but it was my first WDF title, so I was like, okay, I'll just go there. I only want to defend my title. I didn't even put my entries in for the second tournament. And then with something happening like that, yeah, it's annoying. I expected it, but I didn't know when it was coming.
Well, you kind of beat me to it there. Did you sense it was coming in that tournament, the way the draw bracket all works, everyone could see when the seeds were going to meet, and did you feel that it was coming that weekend?
No, not really. I wasn't expecting it back then, no.
What's the fallout been since Denmark? Because we've seen it obviously in the home nations as well, the way that was all handled, and do you agree with the way that was handled when Holland or Netherlands should have been playing at a certain time and the game was allowed to be replayed? Do you feel that was a right decision?
It was a rough decision. There was a lot happening, and we had to go on stage, and 2 minutes before it was like, okay, Dita doesn't want to play Noah, and it wasn't even my decision. The whole team made a decision, and yeah.
Do you feel it was the right decision for that game to be replayed, or do you think the game should have been forfeited because the fact that you said there that Dita didn't want to play you? Any other event, if you don't play on your allotted time schedule, it's not going to be replayed?
That's a tough one. I just want every game to be played, and like I said, I just want to play darts, and I don't want to be involved in all the politics. And I'd rather just play every game.
Well, that's a good segue about the politics, because we've heard Matt Porter from the PDC speak recently, and he said they are completely comfortable with their policy, no plans to change it. I'm guessing the WDF are the same because you're still playing in their events. So these protests, do you think they should be made against the authorities and the rules, not you as an individual?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like I said, some people say it's not personal, but I think we all know it's getting to a point where it is getting personal. We all know who the transgender person is they are all talking about.
Do you sometimes wish they'd actually name you then, instead of saying that person or just a transgender athlete? Like you say, everyone knows who they're talking about, and it's almost as if they don't want to put a name to you.
Yeah, well, at least they're trying to not make it personal, but whenever they call me the trans, like I said, we all know who they're talking about.
Does that still hurt when they call you the trans, or you've been referred to as a he on national TV and things like that? Does that still hurt?
Did that really happen?
Correct, yeah, it did.
In England, England. Well, yeah, it does hurt. Of course, it does something with my feelings.
Have you had backing and support from the PDC and the WDF as a top organisation, maybe not the home nations in the individual ones, but the bigger organisations, have you had support off of them?
I've been getting a lot of support from the PDC and the PDPA as well.
That must be nice knowing that they are supporting you as a player and as a trans player playing in the women's game. That must be a nice feeling.
Yeah, it is. It sucks to be in the middle of the spotlight, but yeah, they're helping me, so that's great.
Do you see a way where this ends and you can play in everything comfortably, or do you think there's always going to be prejudice against you there?
I think there's always going to be, yeah.
No way it can ever be repaired now? Do you think the damage is done long term?
Well, if we take a look at the UK right now with the Prime Minister, it's not getting any better. And we all know 60-70% of darts is England. So I can't imagine it getting really, really better. I hope I can create a safer space for the next one after me. But it's not looking really good right now.
You seem quite a strong person sat there now because of everything that you've been through. But has there ever been a point where you've gone, I just want to walk away from darts, I can't be doing with this?
Oh yeah, plenty. Yeah.
Where have you got the strength from to carry on then?
Well, besides all the death threats and negativity that I'm getting in my DMs, I'm also getting a lot of support. And there's so many trans people out there that are also reaching out to me. And not only trans people, also allies and other people that are like, oh, you just have to keep playing darts, just do it. And don't let them win. Like, just be you.
You touched on allies and enemies there. Is it like that when you go to an event then? Is it like a split room where you've got almost Team Noah and Team Against Noah? Is that how it feels like at times?
Well, sometimes it really does, yeah. I don't want to force anyone into being Team Noah or Team Enemy. I don't really care what you think. And like I said, I just want to play darts and I just want to have a great day at the tournament. And yeah, whatever needs to be done.
Well, on the tournaments, there's plenty to look forward to. The match play is on the horizon again, and you're going back there in great form. And one of the women that could lift the title, are you dreaming of that moment yet?
Yeah, of course. Last year, I was like, okay, I have to play bow. I might win a few legs, but I don't think I'm really going to win it. And I think over the last half year, I've really proven myself that I can beat anyone. And
Ali Pally, Lakeside, you're in a good position for both.
Yeah.
If you have to make that decision, which one would you pick?
I think with the support the PDC and the PDPA both have given me, I think it will be Ali Pally.
How much would that mean to you walking out at Alexandra Palace at the PDC?
It would mean so much. Such a big venue, iconic. Yeah, it would be great. Also,
part of your thinking behind it, is that because of the lack of support you've also gotten from the WDF, that they almost haven't had you back?
It's a bit mixed. They do want to give me the support, but we all know the WDF, most tournaments are organized by countries itself, and they don't have that much money. So yeah, the PDPA can help me a lot more than the WDF can. Yeah, it's a bit mixed.
You touched on the countries there. How disappointing was it when two of your fellow Dutch teammates that you've had played with before said they wouldn't play with you in the national team?
Yeah, it's their choice. It doesn't have anything to do with me, besides me being a transgender athlete. It's annoying because of I gotten from that. It was really much, and it also happened at a tournament, and I don't think any of the other players would really love to have something happening like that.
Again, do you think that was strategically done at the specific time it was?
Well, some say it wasn't, but if you post it 10 minutes before you have to play me.
It was posted before then?
Yeah.
Because we've seen to-ing and fro-ing. Some people say it was, some people say it wasn't. But from your point of view, it was posted before they were meant to play you.
Yeah. Like, the funny thing is, I didn't know about the thing they posted.
Right, okay.
And then I had to play Anka. I beat her, and then I went back to the table, and all of a sudden Fallon was next to me, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so fuming. I'm really angry at them, and they shouldn't be doing this." And I was like, "Okay, thanks, but I have no idea what's happening." And then I opened Facebook, and it was already shared for like 20, 30, 40 times. And then I knew what was happening.
Fallon's one of the biggest names in the game, and the way she transcended into the men's game and put it into place, darts as a sport, the support that you've gotten off of her must be nice.
Yeah, it is. The support I'm getting off of anyone is nice. And especially from Fallon, she's doing so much for women's darts. Being the first one, or being a recent one, who played at Ali Pally and beat several big names. Yeah, it's great.
Going forward, let's finish on a plus. What would a good year on the dartboard for Noa-Lynn be?
I think making Ali Pally, winning the match play, maybe winning this weekend.
Well, Noa, thank you very much for your time, as always, because we massively appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please sure you drop us a like and subscribe to the channel, because we massively appreciate your support.